So a future of restorative justice 20 years from now, if prison still exists, but less children incarcerated.
Sometimes when we think about history, when we're in history class, we study history and you say, how could they have been so behind? But what I like to ask myself is, what will the students of the future think when they look at our history? How could we have been so behind? Restorative justice is our attempt to catch up to the future.
All of the restorative justice practitioners right now are to be commended because they are really pioneers in something that I think will be really normalized in the future. I think it's the social technology of the future.
My vision for how New Yorkers can be using restorative practices in 20 years is getting out of the mindset of punishment for specific actions when you can have a conversation about it instead. And I feel like this isn't just in schools, it's in the workplace, because that's where I'm going to be in 20 years. And if I mess up, I'd like the opportunity to really talk about it and figure out how I can grow from it still.
My vision for how New Yorkers can use restorative justice in 20 years is that it will be the way that people decide how harm is repaired rather than in the traditional courthouse or courtroom.
What I see is just an entire movement that involves community members, that involve parents, that involve young people really pushing towards humanizing, offenders.
I hope to see that around the city, that we take the peacemaking model and we really incorporate it in our criminal justice system. And then in the schools, the same thing, that we see schools that have adopted a restorative justice program drastically reduce the amount of kids that are suspended, build real community, have connections with teachers and students. So I see New York in 20 years in an ideal world that this is something that takes off across the city.